we are the sensitive souls, and we are the ones who are visionaries for a future that is yet to come. And it takes a lot of courage to be in this world and not being of this world, but to create a new one, a new paradigm where our heart can thrive, where our sensitivity is welcome, where our symptoms have gone away, where our body is actually happy and thriving, where we are not overtaken by our emotions, where we're not overwhelmed by stress. All of this is what we're leaving behind. And as for today, I know that there's a lot of people that are still struggling in understanding how to make empathy their blessing, in understanding how taking on the emotions of others, or being able to read a room as soon as you get in, or picking on the unsaid messages, that sensitivity, there are a lot of people who are struggling with making peace with it. Also, there are a lot of people who are struggling with burnout and being burnt out, not having enough energy, not being recharged enough, because we are trying to work in a paradigm which is fast, 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 and we're not supposed to do that at all. We can be very fast, we can move very fast and very effectively when inspired by intuition and when following our own mission, but we don't need to do that. The time of hustling is not of our time. So many times I talk about choosing a timeline. And if you know that you have a deep inner world, if you know that you are an essential part of co-creating your reality, because your will can determine where you focus on, you know that you can choose timelines. How do you choose timelines? You choose timelines by choosing how to react to certain situations and how to show up. So this is what you can choose. For about the past 15 years of my life, I started listening to self-development courses and podcasts, and they were saying you can choose your reactions. And actually, I couldn't at all. So now if you are in your 20s or 30s, or sometimes even in your 40s and 50s, if you haven't dedicated enough of your focus, time, and energy to reharmonize your inner world, you won't be able to do a different choice. It makes my heart bleed when I hear people in the self-development industry, which is an industry, like coaching is an industry, and it's an industry because the paradigm of an industry is always give more, give more, give more, give more, and always grow, 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 grow. So when we talk about an industry, we talk about, for example, the medical industry. What do? They give you some stuff which won't make you feel better. Sometimes they will. And this protocol basically will keep you on that protocol forever. So they keep you spending money on the same thing forever, because you never actually get rid of the cause of the symptom, but you just address the symptoms. So you need to keep addressing it. It's like taking the water out of the sea with a bucket. You never end. You just keep on doing it. We define an industry in these modern economic terms, a system that keeps growing and keeps doing this system, right? So it keeps growing and it keeps giving you problems, so people keeps need to buy that. There's always more to sell, there's always more to grow, always more to produce. So coaching and self-development, which is industry I am part of since the very beginning when I arrived to this industry, there were so many principles and concepts and ideas I didn't really click with. And so I had to take a step back and I had to do a lot of inner work and a lot of self growth and a lot of school, basically the school of life, with all of my experiences and teachings and trainings. I have more than 17 certifications right now in the field of embodiment, somatics, energy psychology, pranic healing, quantum energy healing, like you name it. A lot of things that have to do with evolution of consciousness, because basically all of our problems, and including our world problem, so our three-dimensional problems like famine, poverty, criminality, lack of whatever, can be solved by upgrading our consciousness. And that's what we are all here to do, especially the light workers, especially the light leaders, especially the empath people who knowingly or unknowingly are here to bring more light on this planet. And that's why we have this human form. I was saying, in this industry, like when we define coaching as an industry, if we keep on engaging with this idea of self-growth, we will never get there. If we keep engaging with this idea that we have to have goals and we have to achieve them, we will never arrive there. Like the very same initial point of goals, they normally arise from desire. And you will hear a lot of coaching saying, you have to desire more, you have to be in your feminine, especially the women one. You have to light up your desire, you have to want something. And for the men, like the young way of saying that is want and be determined around your wantings and keep showing up and be determined and go, 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 and no matter the obstacles, and having this very much, how do you call it, bulldozer approach. And on the feminine, it's more like, oh, you have to keep it, to feel it, to be in your desire, and just opening up more desires in your life and all of that. And that, if we look at the map of consciousness, we now know that desire is not even that high. So when we actually act from desire, we act from a bit of the same frequency as greed, when we think that we have not enough and we have to have more. We activate the same frequency of, I am lacking this, I have to get there somehow. And we all know that when we lack something, we don't feel good. We all know that when we fulfill a desire that came out of a need, when we fulfill it, actually we are not satisfied. We need to find a new desire straight away, or we need to look how we can fulfill that again. So for example, if we want to go on a vacation and we desire it so much, then we go on that vacation, and then guess what? When we are on that vacation, we're already thinking, oh, when is going to be our next vacation? Or maybe next year we can come back and do this and that. Or maybe next time we can go here and there. Oh, look at those people. They are on vacation in a better place. We should go there. And so this never ends. It creates a sort of continuous wantings. And when you structure your own self-development on the basis of goals and wantings, you will never get that. You will get to some of the goals, you will get to some of the results, we can say, but they won't probably match your divine timeline of joy. You will miss out on a lot of opportunities while you're focusing on your desires. And then when you get there, you're not really happy with what you have, can't really appreciate it, and then you have to go all the way back, and then you have to grow even bigger, and to keep yourself in this constant cycle of goals and desires, goals and desires, goals and desires, goals and desires, which is basically exhausting. I mean, desire also is what moves us, but then we have to elevate this desire and see what is the motivation behind that desire. If the motivation relies on a higher frequency, which has to do with love, which has to do with courage, which has to do with sharing, but then we are going to, what motivates our desire, actually we're going to move from the other frequency, the higher frequency. We're not moving from the frequency of just desire. Just desire basically has nothing behind it. It's just because I want it. It's just Like a kid, yesterday I had this experience. I was together with my partner's kid, and she said, I want to go to that shop. And I said, why? And she said, I want a lollipop. And I say, don't take it for a lollipop now. You can go have something at home later. Of course, she didn't need the lollipop, and you may agree or not agree with that. And some people will say, oh, you should just give her the lollipop. Well, in my opinion, I just don't agree that much, in my view, with feeding kids a lot of sugar. And so for me, it's like pointless to educate her that lollipop is good and that she could have a lollipop. My answer was always a no. And she asked it many, many times. She asked it for the shop, and then she was complaining about it. Oh no, I really want a lollipop. I really want a lollipop. Why? I want a lollipop. I want a lollipop. And then somehow I managed to distract her. This is just an example, how our brains, the lower mind really gets activated by, I want this. And a lot of adults have that too. This is not to judge that they are not evolved or they are immature, but they are using a frequency which is only reliant on their self-interest. And please don't try to see this pattern on other people around you. Don't try to see this pattern on your partner or your friends or your parents. Just think about yourself. Be honest and think about yourself, because the only person you can actually change is yourself. So think about yourself. Think about how many times you said, oh, I want to reach this goal just because I want. Well, that's not the higher purpose. So this is one of the things that I don't really like about the coaching industry. And this other thing, there are many other things which I can talk about.
Hey, beautiful soul, thank you for watching. You can click on the next video coming up right here to hear about what is the second major assumption of the coaching industry I disagree with. As a highly sensitive myself and coach to many empath women, I know what works and what won't to get real about the change you want to see in your life, business, or yourself.